you so much for taking out the time from your schedule for coming for the session as well. All right. So the session I would like to start with it. So first and foremost, Mr. Inman, why are compliance frameworks which we have? First and foremost, what is compliance? We would love to hear from you. And second thing is that why do these compliance frameworks are typically introduced in our organizations, and where does the disconnect begin? Many organizations they invest heavily in policies, certifications, mandatory learning, yet behavioral gaps they continue to exist. From your experience, why does this gap exist, and why does it not automatically become a compliance culture?
See, this is very simple analogy. So when I watch a lot of movies, so I'll take a lot of references from movies as well. So in Three Idiots, students used to memorize the answers to get marks, the passing marks. But our hero, Mr. Rancho, questioned the system. So he sought understanding. So every organization usually would operate in an exam mode. So employees would compete on modules to just pass the audits. So it is not it doesn't internalize the value system. So from a global HR perspective, there are different frameworks like enterprise risk frameworks. You have ISO 37301, which defines compliance effectiveness and behavioral evidence. So it's not only about documentation existence, but also about creating an evidence. And end of the day, it has to be owned by the people across. So policies would only create awareness, but leadership is what will create the ownership. So if our leaders themselves they say like let's bypass this one just once, then that exception becomes a cultural
Right.
precedent.
Hmm.
And when you take the Tamil movie Indian or the Hindi version Hindustani, uh, the country had laws, but what was missing was ethical leadership consistency. So governance fails when it is only informational, but it succeeds when it is culturally driven.
That's nice. It fails when it's culturally driven. That's true. But here is where a fine line is also there. So the HR leaders, they often walk a fine line. We are expected to uphold the governance while remaining approachable and business aligned. So both the things are there. It's a cat on the wall situation. So why do you think this hesitation enters the picture? And what shifts in communication tone or clarity which will help the governance feel confident rather than just controlling?
Okay, very valid question, and it's like who will bell the cat?
Mhm,
It's
true.
a very critical questions, and this is where the leadership confidence is being tested. So when you look at Chak De India, our coach Kabir Khan did not shout. He established what is the standard, and he repeats them, and he lives by them. So
True.
governance leadership is very similar, and if the HR hesitates when they want to be liked, when they fear being labeled as business blockers, or they lack commercial framing. So when you are at a senior level or at a CHRO level, compliance is not only the control, but it will help in mitigating all the risk. So when you look at global markets like UAE or Malaysia or European region, uh, ESG governance impacts the investors' confidence, and then data privacy will affect the brand value and the trust. Labor laws violation will affect the market entry. So when we communicate governance, I would never say like this is a policy. I would rather reiterate it saying this is a strategic risk exposure. So that language of how you put it across to the boardroom also matters, because firm is not authoritarian, firm is responsible, because we as citizens we are responsible, and we need to be socially responsible, and we need to have a responsible business framework.
That's true. Participants, if you're there, please do type tone or clarity. What makes a bigger difference? Tone here, the clarity, or the communication here. Please type in the chat box tone, clarity, or the communication. If you're there with us, please type tone or clarity or communication. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all the participants. So now, Mr. Edwin, here's a very beautiful question, which I would like to know from your experience. Okay. In your experience, have you ever faced a situation whereas governance accountability, it was being avoided or it was being diluted? When was this? What resistance did you encounter? What conversations did you initiate? And what was that experience which revealed to you about a confident leadership? Mr. Invin, are you there? The screen seems to have. Hello, Mr. Invin, are you there with us? Participant, please type in the chat box from where are you, where have you joined in? We'll wait for a few seconds for him to join. Maybe he's facing some technical problem. Participant, please type in the chat box. Where have you joined in with us from? Are you only from Bangalore or which city are you from? Okay. Lata Subramaniam says Chennai. Thank you. Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Thank you. Still waiting for Mr. Invan. Give me a few seconds, please. I'm giving him a call.
Sorry, Achin, I think I lost in between. I'm very sorry for
Yes,
that.
yes, that's fine. I was also trying to connect. I hope everything is fine now.
Good, 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 good.
All
So,
right.
reiterating to your question,
Sure.
see, this is a very powerful question, and I think in Jai Bhim movie, Tamil movie, the legal system existed, but the justice failed because accountability failed.
True.
So the right question you asked is about the tone and the communication and the accountability, right? So governance becomes cosmetic when it is like a LMS driven completion checklist, or policies updated only before audits, or leadership repeating like it's only for exceptions you can take across, or HR is just seen as a sole compliance owner. See, ownership has to be taken by everyone, and then when the manager says it's HR's responsibility, there itself it has been detached from the leadership. They have not taken the ownership on them. So, from a global perspective, the frameworks needs to evaluate like the whistleblower effectiveness, leadership accountability, then ethical preparations and everything. So, checklist will only impress the auditors, but when you grow as an organization, embedded governance has to be part and parcel by design, so that it would reassure the investors to look at how well this organization will move ahead.
True. That's true. It will just increase the auditors. The checklist will just impress the auditors. So here's the second question, third thing which I had asked, which was based on your personal experience. In your personal experience, have you ever faced a situation where governance accountability was being avoided or diluted? So no matter how much we enter the policies, no matter how much we make them follow it via LMS, still there are people who are going to be not following it. Did you ever face a situation like this? What resistance did you encounter and what conversations did you initiate? And what did that experience reveal to you about confident leadership? 1 minute.
Sure,
Yes.
perfectly fine. See, it's a case with everyone who is in a governance risk and role where they will face this kind of challenge. Certainly, it is a challenge because a lot of things will happen overnight. The compliance will come in. See, people would have created the policies long back. Orientations would have been given. LMS platforms would be there, which will look at taking ownership, then driving it. Only challenge will come is how do we drive it and how do we take compliance that everyone complies with that. See, unless and until it is a daily activity, it will become as a checklist. So I faced in one of my organization wherein there was a case of a vendor onboarding, and the timeline to the distribution and the process was very short. So
Mm,
we were asked, like from the leadership team, like can we bypass few controls and then onboard and then look at exceptions.
mm.
So it gives me an analog to the movie Guru. So ambition can sometimes be outpace the regulations. So instead of what I looked at, it's like not, let's not react it emotionally, but I did three things which was very critical for the business at that time. So one is, how do I quantify the financial and reputational risk and exposure? If somebody discloses this across, then
Mm,
it's a reputational risk.
mm.
uh, that's one part. And then looked at what would be the impact on the audit and compliance.
Okay.
How do we take it across? Because auditors, they will somehow find out something where, because not when you do the right thing, it's always great. You need not have to cover up or something, but when you do something wrong, the cover up is very huge.
True.
And then how can we bypass, or how can we have an alternative solution to this?
Mm.
So what leadership, not leadership, one of my teachers during my schooling taught me, what you do when nobody's watching you defines your character. So
Correct.
that has stayed very close to my heart. So whenever there's a challenge, I say, is it the right thing to do? It's always better to do the hard thing the right way. And
That will
I
take
think
time.
at a level where we are, it's more about how we transform business and how we be responsible and how we lead by example. So it would always protect the sustainable growth for every organization.
That's true. How we protect the organization, everything takes into consideration. Thank you so much for that. Participants, please type ownership if you feel that you as business, you as the HR leader also hold a valuable point in the company's roles. Please type ownership. Please type ownership. Let me see if the participant is still here with us.
That's a
Participants, please
nice
type
way
ownership.
of engaging and making everyone responsible.
So true. Participants, please type ownership. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. So here is something which would be really very much beneficial for all the participants who are here straight away from the HR background itself. What early warning signs they indicate that governance is becoming a checklist? So you just said that it will impress the auditor to add it in the checklist. So is there any early signs which we can see that is just becoming a checklist exercise rather than just a lived leadership responsibility? People have to take ownership, but they don't do that. So it just becomes a lived, it just becomes a checklist. For example, are there any behavioral patterns? Are there any meeting conversations, decision delays, accountability gaps? Which kind of signals will show that compliance is just being a checklist? It is just being completed but not truly owned. From your experience, what should HR leaders watch for before this turns into a larger cultural risk?
See, a human resource journey has also evolved. When you look at the inception of business from the first industrial revolutions and everything, HR was only as a personal management. So all the veterans who are there seeing us online or everything, they will know how we have grown across from that to a HR department, to HR management, to human capital management, to human experience. And now like every customer is the king, so now every resource is the king in an organization. So what kind of experience we bring into the picture is what the people experience team is defined as the HR department for a lot of organization. So from that perspective, HR can make or break the organization. It's more of that transformational role, and at that level, the culture has to be imbibed with the leaders and the HR representatives across. So when you look at a global entity, you will have a lot of HR business partners who would cultivate the culture of governance and the culture of the organization. So instead of it being like a bottom to top approach, it has to be strategically from the top to the bottom line, because onus and ownership has to be driven from the leadership. So it becomes a challenge because uh, not everyone will have an access to the leadership team. You will have a hierarchy, and whatever be the open system in an organization, still the hierarchy will be there, and you can't sometimes skip the scale. So what things I have seen across is the people's disconnect, the people's making it as like a mundane activity. See, a lot of us don't like administrative work, and governance is not a fancy work. It's a compliance thing, and it's a statutory requirement. So it becomes more of a paper-driven work for a lot of people.
Hmm.
See, but how do you communicate it? Like you said, the tone and the communication defines. So when we have a small child, the child itself cries and asks for what is the requirement. Right, the baby cries, it doesn't know how to communicate, but it cries and it makes it
Right.
accessible for the mother to
Exactly.
understand. So like that, we need to scale ourselves to a level from the bottom line to the top line to understand
Hmm.
how do we communicate ourselves. So if that
Hmm.
communication is there, it is very great, and the
Hmm.
communication has to be there at a regular interval.
Regular interval. Correct.
So because in sales you say, right, jo dikhta hai wahi bikta hai. So how
Hmm.
you present yourself also matters, and how do you keep making it as a habit.
Hmm.
See, if it is ownership is not taken by everyone, it just becomes as a administrative checklist. But
Hmm.
now when you drive it through the people, making
Hmm.
them understand the big picture,
Responsible. Hmm.
the responsible people will take over. Another example I can cite is there are five blind people,
Hmm.
and they have not seen an elephant in their life.
Okay.
And the five people were made to stand in front of an elephant.
Yes.
One was holding the trunk, one was holding the
Tail.
ears, the other was holding the leg side,
Hmm.
one on the stomach and one on the tail. So
Hmm.
everyone felt like the elephant
This
looks
is
like this,
this
but
is
the
snake.
bigger picture
This is
is
a
not known.
drum. This is a.
You can take the same analog to a person making a building.
Hmm.
One person says he's just building it because he's being told he takes care of his basic roti kapda makan ke liye kaam kar raha hu.
Correct.
And the other person will say, I'm making something for my boss. The
Hmm.
third person will say, boss, I'm not building something, I'm building a temple, so that
Hmm.
lot of people can get empowered by seeking the blessing. So
Hmm.
it's how we present ourselves and how we project ourselves definitely matters across.
That's true. Participants, please type checklist if you see that, if you feel that governance following GRC is just a checklist activity. Please type checklist if you feel that it is just a checklist activity. Type culture if you think that it should be a cultural activity. Type checklist if you feel that it is just a checklist activity most of the times, but type culture if you feel that it should be a cultural activity imbibed everywhere. Culture. Thank you so much, Miss Anusha. Oh, wonderful. Welcome, Miss Anusha. I think this is the first time you're coming in for the session. Okay. So now here is one extremely important question. What visible organizational shifts occur when governance is embedded into people strategy? So right now we have seen that it should be imbibed into the culture. That's what we are also speaking regarding it. What visible shifts can you see once we start implying all these governance into the people strategy instead of being treated as just a parallel compliance function? Many of the organizations, what they do is that they put up the courses into LMS. People have to do it 2 months of time, 3 months of time, 1 month of time completed. So if you completed, you get 2 points. If you completed, you get 1 point. But that's it. It just sticks into the training programs, but it doesn't imbibe into the organizational culture. If it is imbibed, what are the cultural changes which can happen? We'd love to hear from
So, I'll take it with a sports analogy.
you. Yes.
Uh, in the
Lots of
Lagan movie,
analogies. This is another one.
in the Lagan movie, victory doesn't come from passion.
Hmm.
It was to be. It came from a structure. It came from a clarity, and it came from a discipline. So
True.
structure, clarity, and discipline is very critical for any organization to look at success at a larger scale.
Hmm.
And when you're looking at this, it can't be like one time wonder. It has to happen every now and then so that the compliance is taken care. So when this governance integrates with the people strategy, few
Hmm.
things will automatically boost the organization's brand value proposition. So
Hmm.
something like decision and discipline will improve.
Hmm.
Your risk mitigation and risk conversation will happen daily because
Hmm.
people have taken it into account and into ownership. Next one is leadership will look at the outcomes.
Good.
So they will look at a positive feedback and process mechanism, and
Hmm.
organization trust will widen across the hierarchy. So
Wonderful.
this will also align with few of the things like which are very mandate for an organization, like transparent communication, transparent compensations, then perform not a bias based or bias free performance systems,
Hmm.
then fair promotions. How
Hmm.
are the policies being communicated across? How is everyone empowered to ask the right questions?
Hmm.
And what is if a person is joining, how are we looking at his career progression?
Growth. Hmm.
So if those things are being set across, the governance will not be as a parallel system but will be as a option where it propagates as the backbone of culture, driving the culture across.
So that is correct over here. Participants, so you're in for a surprise. It was a wonderful discussion which we had with Mr. Inven, but it is not going to be limited with just me and him. Right now, post this, what we will have is a coaching session, an online coaching session. Please be prepared to win it because there are going to be 3 questions. If you win it, you are going to get a surprise gift. Beyond that, we will also have a live Q&A session with Mr. Inven. So if you have any questions based on the your experience of GRC in your organization, if you have any questions wherein you feel that some interaction between me and him, you have some deeper insights into that to share, please feel free to raise your hands. I will be unmuting you. So now the second option is my favorite section. That is, we'll go for a live coaching segment. We will play it via Mentimeter. Participants, please type in the chat screen if you have ever used Mentimeter. Please type yes, otherwise no in the chat screen if you have not used it. Mentimeter. We will use it via Mentimeter. I will tell you how to use it. Yes. Okay. So Ms. Chitra is the first one to say, okay, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'm getting get good yes. Yes, no, I'm getting a mix here. No, yes, okay, I'm getting a mix. So I'll tell you how point by point we will go for the session. So in the chat box, I'm going to send a link. Give me just a second, please. Mm, yes. Yeah. So I'm sharing the link here in the chat box for all of you. Please click on the link and it will take you to the presentation, the quiz format. Please click on the link. It will take you to the quiz format. Quiz will have 3 questions. We'll go one by one for it. So only thing which you have to do is the moment you enter for it, please type your name properly. Otherwise, it will take some random question. Oh, 4 players are already. I have started the question yet. Just waiting for the participants to answer. I've got only 4 players. Find viral link. This is our if you win it, then you're gonna be get a surprise gift. Otherwise, this will be a competition is very less. Four players are ready. What about the others? Okay, I will unmute because maybe some participants have some doubts on how to log in. Okay, I'm giving you all an option to unmute. If you have some clarification, feel free to let me know. So in the chat box, I've sent across the link to join. Only 4 players have joined it. Please click on the link which is given there in the chat box. Okay, so I got 5 now. Participants, the link is in the chat box. Okay, so can we begin it? I believe we are not getting responses from there will be another few more people that will not win. So the remaining 5, the 5 who are here, we decide for a quiz. If you win it, you can get some surprise. So here's the first question that we are looking for. First, can we go for the first question? Have you all got the first one? Okay, I'm facing some kind of a network issue here because you should be getting the questions, but you're not getting it. Fine, please apologize for that. But what I will be doing instead is that I just share across the questions in the chat box. So I was trying to do it via Mentimeter, but I was not able to. That's okay. We'll go for just one question. The question will be in the chat box. The first person to respond is going to be actually getting the surprise gift. So keep your chat box open, please, for getting the responses. So here is the question which is coming across in the chat box to all of you. Sorry for a short delay, but thank you so much for understanding. Okay, so the question is, employees hesitate to report misconduct. I'm typing it right now. You all will be getting it. What strengthens the governance most? A, B, C, or D? Which option is the correct one? A, B, C, or D? Let us see who is going for the first one. The first one will be getting the response. Will be getting the surprise. Okay, Inven, I'm not giving the surprise gift to you. All right. So Anusha, oh, that's wonderful. So Miss Anusha has given a response. What about the others? I'm waiting for some responses from them as well. I'm waiting for some responses. Thank you so much, Mr. Shahid Ashraf. Okay, Ms. Lata has also given a response. A, C, thank you so much. The correct answer here is going to be C. Leadership, communication, reinforcing psychological safety is going to be extremely important. Please make sure that we as leaders are going again and again telling that rules are the same. Believe me, I've seen certain organizations wherein people in the top organization also, if there is any disciplinary issue, if there is any code of conduct issue, the organization does not hold back thinking that no, he's a senior manager, he's a senior executive. Let me not go and take this decision. No, it has not happened. They have gone ahead and taken a decision on as the case be. So thank you so much to all the participants who have given the response. The correct response is going to be C, and the participant who has won the gift voucher is going to be Miss Anusha. Please, I have your details. If it is the same, I'll go ahead with those details. Otherwise, please drop me a message as to your mobile number and your email ID, which I will be using. You'll get a gift voucher worth of 100 rupees from us. So congratulations, Miss Anusha, for winning that. Participants, please type congratulations, Anusha, for that she has won the gift voucher. Please type congratulations, Miss Anusha. So she also comes from an HR background. She comes from a reputed organization. I'm not going to be telling it right now because I do not have the authority to be doing that. But yes, she's an HR coming from a reputed organization. Okay. So now to across to the participants. So thank you so much everyone for being here. But now the screen is all open for all of you. If you have any questions or clarifications to read, please raise your hands. I will unmute you from my end so that you can go ahead with the questions to Mr. England. Please raise your hands if any questions, clarifications to be asked. Any questions, any clarifications? Miss Anusha, do you have any questions? Since she was the first one, let me ask if you have any questions or something to be asked.
Not a question, but I did get a lot of insights and how the discussion was going. So yeah, looking forward to more. Um, just a thought, like how do I say, the new labor code that is the talk of the town, right? New labor code AI. How do you see all this in the background of the new labor code? How do you see GRC in the background of the new labor code and the sensitivity around it, timelines, the sensitivity, the queries? How is it on a larger perspective? I know it is a huge ocean in itself. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Anusha. See, when I'll reiterate the question saying, we just got the confirmation by November 21st, right? Last year. Yeah. But the regulations were passed in 2019 and 21. So we had a lot of time to reiterate and everything. The thing is, we don't do till it is a headache for us. That's how we are being brought about. जब तक necessity नहीं है तब तक invention नहीं होता है. And we don't bother till it becomes a penalty driven request. So what has happened is I have seen a lot of my friends organization and our organization wherein we had done the mapping across the day those regulations were passed on. So for us at this juncture it is very easy to look at reiterating the shifts. When the people who are going to start it now, for them it would be a huge challenge looking at the imperatives, because the impact is very huge now. When you look at Maharashtra, they have already passed all the regulations from the state requirement. I think the last month they had passed across. When you now look at Tamil Nadu, we are yet to release a lot of things because we have the elections now round the corner. So it's about how the state regulations regulate it and drive it. But I would say, like a lot of HRs and organizations who have been proactive, they would have already started implementing it across in a phase wise. So the level to change becomes very easy. But if you're doing it now, it's high time we look at the impact and assessment and then drive it, because there will be very few impact for a huge global organization, because they're looking at compliance at a global scale. I would say what our government has now done is the basic hygiene. like for example, if it was been at like 20% or 30%, they have shifted that baseline to 60 or 70. That's what they have done. So the shift is huge, and the impact will also be huge. When you look at MSMEs and SMEs, the impact will be very huge. When you look at global organizations, the regulatory changes would not have much of an impact if they are already driven across for these changeovers. So one change you can look at is like the the gratuity impact, the comp and ben impact which would happen, then the full time employment strategy and the consultant. The impact will also happen on the gig economy and everything.
That's a pretty insightful session. That's a pretty insightful answer. Thank you so much, Mr. Edwin, for that. I hope that answers your query, Ms. Anusha. Thank you, Invan. All right. Okay. So to participants across, and of course, first and foremost to Mr. Invan, it was a truly insightful session, and I speak on behalf of others that we really enjoyed it. We liked it a lot. So I was thinking it to be a kind of a dried session, but there you go. You brought in lots of analogies and stuff. It was beautiful, insightful as well. Okay. Now, before we conclude, here is an important announcement to be made. We request the participants to join our WhatsApp community for regular updates of our paid and unpaid workshops. We hold talk shows every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., and details are always posted in the WhatsApp community. Link is pasted in the chat box. I hope you would have seen that. It would be there in the chat box above. So please feel free to scroll it. Also, our YouTube link is pasted in the chat box. I request you to please subscribe to our channel. It would be very beneficial. We would like to reiterate that we have also ventured into paid online training programs. We have 3 programs scheduled from next month. First is pronunciation lab, second is presentation lab, and third is writing lab. Trainer will be me. Details are in the chat box. And thank you to Mr. Edwin now for your today's insightful insights. I really appreciate you taking out your time and effort from your schedule to come for our session. Let me inform the participants here that me and Mr. Indvan have been speaking from almost 1 or 1.5 months to ensure that we are coming up for the workshop. So it's beautiful that we have finally met and we have taken it ahead. It is much appreciated. We hope you liked it as well, Mr. Indvan. And our speakers have often given the feedback towards the end of the session that they really love the session. I hope we left a good impact on you as well. So today's key takeaway was that governments does not fail because of policy gaps. It weakens when communication confidence is missing. When HR aligns governance with people strategy, the risk reduces, the trust increases, and the ownership, most importantly, it strengthens. Thank you to everyone who participated actively. Please follow us on LinkedIn, join our WhatsApp community for upcoming HR focused conversations. Have a confident and aligned week ahead. Participants, please type thank you. Okay. I strongly believe the next generation of HR leaders will not be measured by engagement by government scores. It went so fast, it scrolled up. Okay. They will be measured by how many crises never happened, correct? How many risks never neutralized early, how confidently leaders upheld standards, and in cinema, a hero appears when a system fails. In organizations, our responsibility is to build systems where heroes are not required. That's absolutely true. That when nothing happens wrong, that means things are smooth. I actually happened to see this across as well. When one of the sessions, the L&D, I was handling the training session there, the L&D came and said, I thanked towards the end. We often do that. So she came and told me, I didn't do anything. I said, that's perfect. That means you're doing everything perfectly well. So you did not have to come in for any coordination activity. Everything happened well. So, all right. Thank you so much. We are ending the session with that. Participants, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, join our WhatsApp community. We hold the session every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You'll get the details in the WhatsApp community. Individually is going to be a little bit difficult for me to send across. WhatsApp business rules and regulations, we cannot send more than 50 to 80 messages a day. Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Inven, for taking our time from your schedule to come for the session. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care. Meet you all the next session.